79. The Charming Moonlight. Author's POV. Return gift? Sure, whatever you want, she asked. A kiss, he said, curving his lips to one side. A real kiss? Mr. Dawson, you know that's not going to happen, right? She reminded him. Why not? I'm just asking for a return gift since you said you loved my surprise this evening. He shrugged casually, glancing at her from the corner of his eye. She slowly averted her gaze, staring at nothing in particular as she began to think deeply about how to handle the situation. But we're not married yet, and this is wrong. What if someone finds out? No one will know except you and Mr. Dawson, her inner voice countered. Yeah, but still, I can't lie to my own parents. It would feel like betraying them. My conscience would never forgive me, Lavanya decided, shaking her head to herself. Jackie noticed her shaking her head and grew curious. What is it now, Miss Verma? What's going on in that Indian mind of yours? Lavanya frowned, feeling slightly offended. Excuse me? I mean, what are you thinking now? Let me guess, it's definitely about what others will say, how they'll react, and all that blah blah blah, isn't it? He mocked. Lavanya turned to him in surprise. How did you know that? Because I'm Jackie Dawson, remember? I know everything and everyone, and it's very easy for me to read your expressions, even though you've never really tried to open up to me. He narrowed his eyes at her. That's not true. I was just trying to hide your conundrum, he cut in. What's that? She asked, confused. Your confusions, dilemmas, difficulties, he explained. She glared at him. No, she disagreed. I was just trying to control my emotions and understand my feelings for you completely. I couldn't just say anything to you or anyone without thinking twice. That's simply not me, she clarified. I see, he nodded. Every time I looked at you, I felt there was some magical connection between us, but you always denied it with your words, though your eyes told a different story. He expressed his thoughts, recalling the painful rejections he had endured. Mr. Dawson. But, he cut her off, smirking, but I never gave up on you. A few seconds later, Lavanya lowered her gaze. I know, she whispered, and I'm really thankful to you for that. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't made me realize my feelings for you. She paused for a moment before continuing. Honestly, it wasn't society, my parents, or even Virat sir. Jackie's expression darkened slightly at the mention of Virat's name, but he remained silent, listening as John drove. It was a battle between my vulnerable heart and my conscious mind. I didn't want to fall for you, but eventually I did. For the one person I thought would never understand love or a girl's feelings. Ouch, that hurts, he frowned. So that's what you thought of me all this time? I'm sorry, but I have to say yes to that question, she admitted. I couldn't bring myself to trust you. I was always extra careful whenever Jackie Dawson was around me. She paused for a moment before adding, but then, slowly, I got to know another Jackie Dawson, one completely different from what everyone said about you. And before I even realized it, I had fallen deeply for that Jackie Dawson. Wow, that sounds really deep, he mumbled, completely engrossed in the conversation. Neither of them noticed the car coming to a stop. Ahem, sir, we've reached home, John informed hesitantly. Leave us alone, John, Jackie ordered, his gaze still locked on Lavanya. Yes, sir. John nodded, switched off the engine, and silently stepped out of the car, leaving them alone. Lavanya felt a little uneasy. Now continue, Miss Verma. You were saying something, Jackie prompted, his voice low and romantic. I was just trying to explain that no matter what I thought about you before, Mr. Dawson, the truth is, today, I am madly, deeply, crazily, and unconditionally in love with you, she confessed, her voice brimming with passion. And I love you even more than that, Miss Lavanya Verma, he replied instantly. But I love you the most, she pouted. And I love you to infinity. He smiled at her. You do? She asked, needing reassurance. Who else will love you like I do, Miss Verma? He murmured, his eyes tracing the features of her face. she blushed. Then promise me. You will always love me like this, she whispered, looking into his eyes. No. He shook his head, making Lavanya frown. Even more, he added with a slow blink, pouting slightly. A silent request for a kiss. She grinned, lifted her right hand, and gently turned his face away with a soft slap on his cheek. He chuckled at her playful response. I asked for a kiss, not a slap, he teased. She looked at him for a few seconds, then cupped his jaw, turned his face slightly to the side, and placed a gentle kiss on his left cheek. Baby, that's not a proper kiss. A real kiss involves 2 pairs of lips, he argued, as if explaining to a child. That's enough for now, she huffed, turning away to hide her blush. No, I want a proper kiss, a French kiss, he demanded. Now what is that? I don't know what you're talking about. What French kiss? She asked, genuinely confused. You don't know what a French kiss is? He was dumbfounded. No. She shook her head innocently. Oh dear God, he muttered. Okay, well, when 2 people kiss, they use their lips, tongue, and their whole mouth. That's what a proper French kiss is. She stared at him blankly. He sighed, grabbed his phone, and quickly searched for a video. Here, this will explain. The moment she saw the video, her eyes widened in horror. What? Why would someone eat another person's tongue? She frowned in disgust. That's gross. Jackie barely managed to contain his laughter. God, who the hell am I in love with? He groaned, leaning back against the seat. Unbelievable. Lavanya shot him a sharp glare and, without a word, reached for the car door handle to get out. But before she could, he grabbed her right arm, stopping her. She turned to him, her expression indignant. He watched her upset face for a few seconds, then let out a deep breath. Damn, he exhaled, shaking his head. Man, I am so in love with you, he whispered, a satisfied smile spreading across his lips. She lowered her gaze, feeling the heat rise in her cheeks. This, he gestured toward her face. I am in love with this blush of yours. It shows up at the perfect time. Mr. Daw. Shh. He hushed her. Can you feel the melody in this silence, love? Melody? She asked, puzzled. This silent night, just the 2 of us, breathing, our hearts racing, creating a rhythm of their own, he murmured, lost in his imagination. Wow, she whispered. I can really hear it now. It's beautiful, isn't it? He asked. Yes, sir, she replied. It is. Slowly, he turned his body to face her. Lavanya, sensing the shift, turned her head to look at him. He leaned in closer. It was obvious what he was craving. The intensity in his gaze and the passion in his expression said it all. He leaned in further until their lips were just an inch apart. Mr. Dawson, she whispered, closing her eyes. He hummed, his eyes fixed on her lips. Please, not now, she pleaded in a barely audible voice. Not now what? He asked, his voice low and smooth. No French kiss, she admitted, her eyes still shut. He didn't pull away, nor did he move forward. He simply remained there, staring at her face, taking in every detail. She was nervous, and he could see it. After what felt like an eternity, he finally spoke. Okay, Miss Indian Verma, not now. Then when... His warm breath sent shivers down her spine. Not before marriage, she whispered, shaking her head slightly, a small, shy smile tugging at her lips. Then let's get married tonight, he said without hesitation. She chuckled and opened her eyes, but her laughter faded the moment she realized just how close he was. Her expression changed, nervousness creeping in. I'm serious, he added. After a few moments of silence, she asked in a disheartened tone, So, you want to marry me just so you can kiss me? Of course not. He shook his head. Then, she asked, curiosity taking over. After marrying you, I won't just be able to kiss you, he said, his voice deepening. I'll be able to touch you, hug you, caress you, kiss every inch of your skin. Lavanya's eyes widened in shock. Her mouth hung half open. This was not the romantic answer she had expected. "And most importantly," he continued, his tone turning teasingly seductive, "I can do whatever I want to you. Madly." "Stop!" she gasped, shoving him back with a startled jerk. "You are shameless and shh, sexy," he growled playfully, his voice low and teasing. She was utterly speechless, staring at him in disbelief. Then, suddenly, he burst into laughter. "Aw, look at you! Your face is adorable when you're scared," he teased between fits of laughter. Lavagna's cheeks burned with embarrassment. Without another word, she bolted out of the car and rushed into her room. Hey, love! Wait, stop!" Jackie called after her, laughing as he followed. "Lavagna, open the door now. Please, I was just kidding." Jackie knocked for the 4th time. "I'm sorry. I won't tease you like that ever again, okay? Now please, open the door," he pleaded. Inside, Lavagna sat silently on her bed, trying to process everything. She shut her eyes, taking a deep breath to think through it properly. A few minutes later, she finally stood up and opened the door. "God's grace, thank you." Jackie sighed in relief. "I was just messing with you, love. Just having a bit of fun." He stepped closer to her. She took a step back. "You have no idea how I felt in that moment. For a second, I thought I had made the wrong decision by coming here, ignoring what everyone said about you. Listening to my heart and choosing to be yours was the most difficult, challenging, and risky decision of my life. You don't understand how hard it was for me to leave everything behind and come to you, all alone, putting my entire life at stake. It's not a small thing for a girl like me, Mr. Dawson. Please, never break the trust I have in you. That's the only thing I'm holding on to as I start my life with you." "Your jokes in the car today, they really scared me. It's so easy for a man to walk away and move on, but for a girl like me, I can't even imagine being treated as something disposable. I love you, I trust you, and I fought against the whole world just to be here with you, in your country. I have never traveled anywhere alone before. It's only because of you that I found the courage to do this. I can do anything for you, but please, don't ever misuse my feelings. Please." Her voice trembled as she pleaded. "Hey." He gently cupped her cheeks. "Are you mad? How can you even think that about me? I would never hurt you like that. It doesn't matter to me whether you let me kiss you or touch you. You already live in my heart, and I want you in my life forever. And you're wrong about one thing. A man doesn't always find it easy to leave and move on. That's not the truth. I can't imagine my life without you. That would be a nightmare. It's impossible for me. You saw me when you arrived here, didn't you? Didn't I look almost dead? I just want to wake up every morning and see you first thing when I open my eyes, and when I close them at night, I want you to be the last thing I see. Please, don't take my jokes seriously, it's just... I love how your expression changes when you get scared. That's why I tease you, and I'll keep teasing you, because I love you, and I'll only ever do that with you. I could never joke like this with anyone else. You are going to have an amazing life with me, Miss Lavagna Verma. Be ready for that." She smiled, her eyes still glistening with unshed tears. He pulled her into a hug, and she didn't resist. "By the way, you have incredibly soft skin, I must say," Jackie teased. Lavagna punched his chest, hiding her face against him as fresh tears escaped her eyes. He chuckled, tightening his embrace. "But I am still desperately waiting for that moment," he murmured. "What moment?" Lavagna mumbled against his chest. "The real kiss," he shamelessly admitted. "You are unbelievable," she huffed, pulling away. He grinned. "Now go back to your room, change and sleep peacefully," she ordered, pushing him away. "But..." "No buts. We could at least spend the night together," he suggested with a hopeful smile. "What? Are you crazy? We can't be alone in the same room?" she exclaimed, crossing her arms over her chest. "Really? Did you forget we've already spent an entire night together alone in my apartment back in India?" he reminded her. "I know, but the circumstances were different. Your intentions weren't like these back then, she pointed out. Who told you that? How can you be so sure my intentions weren't the same back then? He smirked. Lavanya was stunned. You are such a hottie, I know. He cut in, winking at her with that same smug grin. She rolled her eyes and grabbed the door handle, ready to shut him out. Hey, if you don't spend time with me tonight, I'm going to stand right here all night, he warned, blocking the door with his foot. She pushed harder, but it wouldn't budge. I'm a tough guy, love. You can't beat me that easily, he boasted, shrugging proudly. Remove your foot or you will get hurt, Mr. Dawson, she warned. I don't care, I just want an answer. His tone was firm. She huffed. What answer? She narrowed her eyes at him. That you're going to spend the whole night with me? He grinned. And what exactly will we do? She asked, suspicious. That we'll figure out, he replied casually. Just say yes. I highly doubt your intentions, and I don't even know why, she muttered, clearly suspecting mischief. You've always doubted me. I still remember the day I took you to a hotel. You thought I was going to rape you. Honestly, Miss Verma, you have a very dirty mind, he taunted. She gasped, feeling deeply offended. Excuse me? That was your fault. You tried to touch me everywhere while dancing on the first evening, and then, out of nowhere, you took me to a hotel room. I mean, who does that? You could have just asked if you wanted to have lunch with me. And of course, Miss Indian Verma would have gladly accepted, right? He mocked. She clenched her jaw. Of course not. How could a sensible girl like me have said yes to an American monster like you, who gave her bruises all over her body while dancing like a wild animal? And instead of apologizing like a gentleman, you dragged me to that hotel room. How was I supposed to react to that? She argued. Great. So now I'm a wild animal? A monster? He scoffed. Wait. You've called me that before. When was it? He started recalling. Lavanya gulped nervously. Suddenly he snapped his fingers. Yeah, the night you spent in my apartment. When you were in my room, he accused, his jaw tightening. So what? You are what you are, a monster, a wild monster, she spat back. Don't call me that or I'll really turn into one, he warned. You already are, Monster Dawson, she challenged. Their argument had taken a ridiculous turn, but neither was backing down. It was late, and all the staff had already retired to their quarters, leaving the two of them to continue their bickering in peace. You should be called Miss Indian Rulebook, he declared. Always making new rules. Don't touch me here, don't touch me there, don't kiss me before 6 a.m., don't kiss me after 9 a.m. He exaggerated, mimicking her voice. And you should be called Mr. Arrogant, she shot back. I want this. I want that. This is mine. I own this. I am the boss, she mimicked in an equally dramatic tone. Oh, and you are Mother India, the all-knowing queen of society's rules, he teased. And you are the great rule breaker, who thinks people shouldn't have any opinions of their own, isn't that right? She countered. You think like that? He accused. You are like that, she pointed out. Well, proudly. He puffed out his chest. Good for you, she scoffed. Who's impressed anyway? She rolled her eyes. You! That's why you're here, aren't you? You came all this way because you love this arrogant monster Dawson, he remarked. Lavanya opened her mouth to argue, but found herself at a loss for words. Yes, I win, he declared smugly, flashing a triumphant smirk. Lavanya huffed loudly, pouting in frustration. Wait. Suddenly his grin faded as confusion crept onto his face. What were we even arguing about? He frowned, trying to recall how it had all started. She too looked momentarily dumbfounded. After a few seconds, she admitted, I don't remember either. They stared at each other, a mixture of confusion and lingering irritation on their faces. Whatever, he muttered before turning away and striding off towards his room, still puzzled by how the whole argument had escalated. Lavanya slammed her door the moment he turned back, muttering curses under her breath. Bad night, horrible dreams, she grumbled. Half an hour later, after reflecting on the pointless distance between them, Jackie opened the top drawer of his bedside table and took out a small box. He chuckled to himself, shaking his head at his own foolishness. "You really are an idiot, you know that?" he muttered, staring at his reflection in a decorative mirror on the table. Determined to make things right, he left his room, walked past Lavanya's closed door, and headed to the garden, the place where he usually sat in the mornings. He set up a small campfire, letting the warm glow flicker against the night. Then, he pulled out his phone and dialed Lavanya's number. Meanwhile, Lavanya was still lost in thoughts about their ridiculous fight. She too had come to realize just how pointless it had been. As she sat on her bed, her phone rang from inside her clutch. She pulled it out and saw Mr. Dawson flashing on the screen. "Hello?" she answered. "Will you please open your window?" he asked. "What? Why?" She frowned in confusion. "Just do as I say. Just this once, please," he requested before hanging up. A little hesitant, she walked over to the window and pulled it open, only to be met with the sight of Jackie standing in the garden, arms wide open, illuminated by the campfire's golden glow. She blinked in disbelief. "You surprise me every time, Mr. Dawson." Jackie smiled up at her expectantly, but instead of reacting, she simply closed the window without a word. His smile faded. Disappointed, he sat down by the fire, his mood dampened. "You need to apologize to her," his conscience nagged. "Yeah, I get that now. I might have hurt her with my words," he admitted to himself, replaying their argument in his head. As he sat lost in thought, the sound of hurried footsteps broke through the silence. He turned towards the noise, and his heart leapt at the sight of Lavanya running towards him. He quickly got to his feet as she slowed down, stopping a few yards away. They locked eyes, neither speaking, but everything was said in that silence. After a moment, Jackie lifted his hands to his ears and mouthed the word, "Sorry." Her heart melted instantly. Without hesitation, she rushed into his arms, pressing herself against him as she wrapped her arms around his neck. He held her tightly in return, his eyes fluttering shut as he breathed her in. "You know something?" he murmured. "The time I spend with you is the best time of my life. But the time I spend without you, it's the worst. It feels like I'm struggling to breathe." "Same here, Mr. Dawson. Same here," she agreed softly. They sat together, Lavanya just in front of him, leaning on his chest, Jackie embracing her, the warmth of the fire and their love wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. The dark navy blue sky, velvety with scattered stars, the cool night air, and the peaceful silence kept them company through the night. "Lavanya?" Jackie spoke nervously almost an hour later. She responded in a contented tone, still gazing at the fire, her back resting against his chest. I don't know what to say or how to do this, but..." He hesitated. She furrowed her brows and turned her head slightly to look at him. "The first time my eyes landed on you, I thought no one on this earth could match your beauty. When I flirted with you, your reactions confused me. I couldn't figure out what you truly wanted, and that made you even more fascinating to me. Every expression, every word, every little action of yours pulled me in. I didn't even realize when I fell for you, but I did, badly." He chuckled, shaking his head. "At first I thought you'd be like any other girl, easy to win over. But I failed, miserably." He lowered his head as she listened to him intently. "You chose Virat over me, and that broke me. But more than being angry at you, I was angry at myself, for not being able to win your heart." His gaze lifted toward the sky. "When I saw you here, standing in front of me, I thought I was hallucinating. But the moment I felt your touch, I was completely caught off guard. I can't even explain how happy I felt in that moment. It was like my heart started beating again, like I could breathe again. Thank you. Thank you so much for accepting me into your life," he whispered. After a brief pause, he sat up straight and reached inside his jacket, pulling out a small box. "Now, I have just one last thing to ask of you." He opened the box, revealing a stunning solitaire diamond ring. Lavanya's eyes widened, her breath hitching as she stared at it. Then, slowly, She lifted her gaze to him, her mouth slightly open in shock. "Will you, Miss Lavanya Verma, the only daughter of Mr. Lalit and Mrs. Sudha Verma, introduce your parents to this lonely man as your fiancé and your future husband?" Her lips trembled, her eyes blinking rapidly as tears welled up and spilled down her cheeks. She nodded slowly, her gaze locked onto his. "Is that a yes?" he asked, still unsure. Instead of answering, she broke into tears and threw her arms around him, resting her head against his shoulder. "Yes," she whispered, her voice full of overwhelming emotion. Jackie tried to hold back, but he too felt himself getting swept away in the moment. "I love you so much, love," he whispered against her hair. "I love you too, Mr. Dawson," she confessed, her arms tightening around him. He pulled away slightly, glancing at the ring still nestled in the box. "I just hope this fits you," he muttered, furrowing his brows in concern. Lavanya giggled at his nervousness, and they broke apart, sharing a heartfelt smile. "May I?" he asked softly. She nodded, her eyes filled with love as she watched him. As he carefully took the ring from the box, she suddenly asked, "You picked this for me?" "Yeah. You don't like it?" His expression tensed with worry. "It's too beautiful for me," she murmured, admiring it. He gently slipped the ring onto her finger, watching it settle perfectly in place. "I wasn't sure about this ring at first," he admitted. "But now, looking at it on you, it looks breathtaking. It was specially made for you." She smiled, admiring the way it sparkled on her hand, just like the love shining in his eyes. "But I don't have a ring or any gift to give you," she murmured, feeling a pang of disappointment. "This is my gift from you, for giving me the greatest gift by saying yes to me," he explained gently. "How could I have said no?" She shrugged. "Thank you," he whispered, his gaze locked onto hers. "Thank you for loving me this much. Well then, I do deserve a return gift," he said with a smirk. "No, not again," she groaned, playfully punching his chest. Their laughter echoed in the quiet night. Jackie had always been mischievous around her, but this time, Lavanya realized that teasing was simply his way of expressing love. She couldn't have asked for anything more, because the man she loved her even more. They were truly made for each other. "Hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you something important." Jackie suddenly spoke up. "Yes? What is it?" she asked. Jackie simply stared at her in silence. Tell me. Why are you not saying anything?" she stammered, growing nervous under his intense gaze.